Hello, myself Sunil Ramkrishnan. Today we are going to talk about the 69th part, that is basically Formula 69th part. Till 68 we have discussed lots of things about the Formula Word. In that Formula Word we have discussed lots of things about the sales, subscriptions, school examples, school lab example, R&D examples. Like this we have taken lots of examples of many sectors, sales industry and many topics basically you can say. So now basically the topic is sales industry. Basically what sales is. Sales, one person basically told that, one person asked the another person, the basically another person was basically having the good knowledge of text box. Basically text box example I already always take. So that person basically having the text box example. So the another person told to this text box knowledgeable person that basically his sales is designed basically. Then this person told that, yeah, basically if you say that sales is designed, then also it would be correct. How basically he told, he given the one example. For example, there is one control called text box in the IT industry basically, and many less people knows that a text box is created on the base of thousand cities. So thousand cities has been designed by the text box designer also you can say, and he has designed the city in that manner that basically the text box data, whatever data is going to enter into the text box, that is going to process to the physical areas basically. So just see basically how the mapping is. One normal text box contains which type of data basically, that everybody knows basically. Text, it can't contains the city, because for city, state and country basically comp box is there, but it is going to contain address is there, name is there, pin code is there, this type of data is going to contain basically. But that basically is going to connect to the physical location basically. Physical location means, for example, you have entered one pin code, so that is going to 100% going to connect with the physical location. That is basically physical land basically. So from that basically, from that land basically data is going to be like this basically. Each and every things are chained basically, you can say. Chained means connected basically, you can say. From one text box, the thousand cities are connected. The thousand city has created this text box, that also you can say. And this one text box has created thousand city, like this also you can say. It's a vice versa basically. Like this basically, two side also basically you can say, both has created each and every one basically. Like this way, for example, text box has created thousand cities, and thousand cities has created the text box. Like this basically you can say. But the one another person basically who have a knowledge, he told, he again basically told that, just for creating text box thousand cities, that is not basically the main reason basically. The main reason behind here the creation of thousand cities is, from text box creation basically, the human needs has to create. Nowadays basically the natural resource are getting over, right? Due to the natural resource are getting over, so the government basically of the whole world basically decided to use the software computers basically. From the software computers basically you can generate the human needs basically. Like this, the alternative find by the government, that is basically software industry and computer industry. So they created lots of things. They created computer energies, they created software energies, they created nuclear plants of the software energies. Like this basically, each and every things are created. Power companies are created. Power company basically, why they created? Because whenever the power supply is getting passed to the computer, then basically your computer is getting loaded perfectly means, I will take one example. The word file basically, when you open the word file, that time basically word file is getting loaded perfectly. Because perfectly means what? The word, Microsoft Word is getting loaded perfectly. The toolbox, the editor, the each and every toolbox, each and every things are getting loaded perfectly. And whatever data you have entered into whatever language, that is also getting loaded perfectly. So that is basically the perfect power supply which is getting passed by the power company to the PC. And in PC, basically Microsoft Word is one software which is getting loaded, and due to that load, basically, if that has to load it completely, that also perfectly, then basically the power supply has to be perfect. So like this, basically power supply investment has also done. Like this, lots of things basically has been done. That also you can say. Like this, basically here, basically we are discussing about the sales industry, basically how the sales industries are connected with each other, basically you can say how the sales industry has connected with the text box, because text box says that it's created from the thousand cities. And thousand cities, basically, if it is created, then basically there might be some reason. Without any reason, government don't create anything. Government don't prepare one single building also without any reason. That I'm talking about the global government, basically what actually the government is, basically. So here, basically, you can see the definition of government also, what actually the government is, and how many peoples are there of the government, and which type of task they are doing, and up to what level they know each and everything, basically we will see in the each and every video, basically the government's you can say government power, up to what level government can do. So each and everything we are going to see. Like this, basically the text box equal to thousand cities, that is thousand cities is created by the government, and the government knows that thousand city has created on the for text box, basically. So for text box, basically, for to create one text box, the thousand cities has created, that also you can say. So like this, basically text box is getting n numbers of data that basically everybody knows. Each and every physical locations are basically processed. For example, you have written one pin code number in the textbook, that basically physically it's get processed, basically. For that, basically lots of things are written in the text box equal to thousand cities. So basically thousand cities, when it has created, and when the power company connects to that cities, and the energy companies gets its connect to the cities, the nuclear company connects to the cities. By default, basically it's a via. So directly nuclear company does not connect with to the cities. It's via some power companies and energy companies. So like this, basically lots of process happens to connect with the physical location. So government has told that from text box we are creating oil, petrol, and vegetables and fruits. So four things basically we are creating. That is text, oil, petrol, vegetables, and fruits. So like this, basically four things are going to create from this text box equal to thousand cities. So this is basically one of the sales, basically you can say. This is not sales, yeah, because for example, one text box has created thousand cities. So this is basically first investment is always already done. So sales basically says that first investment has already done, basically. So whatever the investment which has done to the product. So sales basically says this also, that we are selling products, basically we are selling the items. So here, basically the thousand cities equal to text box, that is one product created by one group, basically they are selling their product, basically. So for selling the product means they are selling to the SAP, they are selling to the Salesforce, they are selling to the PHP, they are selling to the Python, they are Python, they are selling to the COBOL, they are selling to the Fox Pro, they are selling to the .NET, they are selling to the uh, C, they are selling to the C++, they are selling to the Java, they are selling to the COBOL, basically mainframe. And like this, basically they are selling their products, that is basically text box equal to thousand cities. So what whenever basically you say that text box equal to thousand cities, and which is basically has to be subscribed by these all companies, that needs to subscription, that needs a subscription by this all the base companies, that basically which I have already taken the name: Scobol, C++, Java, .NET, Fox Pro, D2K, Visual Basic, ASP, .NET, Python, PHP. Like this, basically each and every base company, basically they have to do the subscription. Without doing subscription, basically their products, their basically customer can't able to see the text box. So to display that one text box, they have to do the subscription. So just see with this, just see the sales level basically up to what level the sales has reached. So basically SAP basically says that if you want to display one text box in the um, our websites, our products, then basically we have to pay the money to the government. That is basically in the form of directly basically government never asks that give the money for the tax box. Government only says that pay the tax. So tax has been paid. In within the tax basically there are lots of hidden things basically which never basically has been displayed by the government to the customers. Basically customers are these software companies, basically base software companies that are Microsoft, PHP, Python, Python, then Salesforce, app. Basically, this all are the Java is there. So like this, basically, this all are the customer for this government basically, and the government says that we have designed this product basically on the base of certain groups basically. So like this, basically, we have to keep our value, and like this, the government says that you have to pay the subscription money, and then basically after paying the subscription money then only we can able to do the activation of the text box basically. The text box which is getting displayed in the base software, that is basically if the Microsoft says that .NET have we have 20 crore .NET people who are using the text box, and sorry they are using the text box, and the total number of text box getting display in the websites are around more than 500 to 600 crore. So to display that 500 to 600 crore basically, government is taking certain number of money in the form of tax. Directly they are not telling that we are taking money in on the base of the text box. Basically we are services, this text box services we are giving to you basically. So government is paying, government is telling that give the tax amount, and text amount contains lots of hidden things. This text box is the one of the best example, and the combo box equal to 2000 cities. Like this, basically there are many hidden things. Basically, government says that we can't disclose the secrets. Basically, it's a secrets basically, and most of basically secrets and secrets are never displayed. Basically, you can say in front of the Microsoft Corporation also basically. So Microsoft Corporation is the biggest company basically in the software industry, and they basically have to pay the subscription amount basically. So just you can imagine basically up to the level basically the IT industry sales contains. So this which I am talking about, that entire thing is sales. So within in sales basically Microsoft is also um, within Microsoft is also there basically for for sales basically, you can say for sales means Microsoft also know basically what actually the sales is, because they are paying the money of the subscription, they are paying the money the of the tax basically. So sales up to what level the sales has reached, that basically Microsoft also know. So basically here basically we are talking stopping, this is basically 69th number, and 17th number we are going to display, we are going to talk little bit more about the formula word and the sales industry up to what level they have reached.